nice wool that comes off of the sheep makes the best yarn, actually. So taking good care of sheep is the first step of making nice yarn. When I see what's done afterwards, after we've made it, it's different when it comes in because it's just in a bag. So after seeing when we've processed it, just because the process is amazing, and then what they do with it afterward is the biggest moment. That's the best. When fiber comes in, it comes in this door, we weigh it, and it'll get put on this shelf right over here. All of these behind me are all jobs that are waiting to be processed. And when we're ready, it gets put on this table right here. And this table here is where we start processing to pick it, to get it ready to get to the next step. It gets sent to our wash area, so we're gonna head right on back here. When it gets sent to our wash area, which is behind me, it gets set in line right here. When it's ready, it'll come in these sinks, and it's gonna sit in those sinks for 20 minutes, each sink at about 185-degree water, and it gets different wash and rinse cycles all the way through. When it's done, you see here, it'll get put on these drying racks. When it's dried on the racks, it'll come right over here to our picking station. And what we do here, we're gonna take some fiber, we're gonna lay it down on this table, and we're gonna give it a little squirt with conditioner, and then it's gonna go through this belt into this closet, and then it comes out looking more separated. So there's no more clumps, it's all opened up and it's ready to go into our carder. Which this is our carder here. All this will get thrown in hopper number 1, and we layer it through hopper number 1 and we spray it again with more conditioner, and then we turn this on and it goes to the next step. After it gets tumbled and mixed through hopper number 1, it's gonna get mixed through again in hopper number 2 before it comes up and over down into our patter area, which condenses it a little bit to when it lays down on the bed and gets ready to go through all the rollers to be carded at the other end. So what happens is it comes out of all these rollers almost like a sheer blanket. It's very thin, and it's gonna go through these coilers, up through here, down into a bucket, and end up looking just like this. After it comes out of the bucket, it's gonna come onto our first pin drafter, which we call the 2-head. The 2-head has bigger combs in it, like similar to combing your hair, and it's gonna make it smaller, just one pass through because of how big it is right now. It's gonna even it out and make it a little bit smaller, and then it's gonna go to our next pin drafter. So this pin drafter here and this one are our 4-head pin drafters. And what happens is it gets smaller and smaller every time it goes through and makes it more even to get out any bumps or slubs or anything like that. When it's done off of the pin drafter, it gets spread out onto all of these cans, and it gets looped up and over. We do a gear change, and then it comes down the front through all of these different balloons and rollers to make it into singles yarn. After it's been spun and the job is done, it'll get put in our steamer for about roughly 4.5 to 5 hours to set that twist so it doesn't unravel on itself. When it's done, it will come over here to our plier. We either do a 2-ply or a 3-ply, randomly a 4, not much, but we set up different spools of singles, and we'll put it through, we'll thread it down through and set up a bobbin, and we'll fill up a bobbin. Right now we're doing a 3-ply. So it'll just fill that bobbin until it's full. We take it off, we steam it again to set that ply. And that way, again, it doesn't unravel on itself. After it goes in the steamer, it'll get put here, our skein winder here. We set up, as you can see, 5 different bobbins. It'll get tied onto here, and this machine will actually rotate itself to make us the desired skeins that we're looking for to look similar to something like this. Then when they're done on cones, you'll see I have cones and I have bags of skeins. Everyone sets them on the table here for me or one other person to box up, get weights. We box it, and then it goes out the front door. And then that's the whole process.